Good day Nairobi, good day Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, Kericho, and kila mahali in this beautiful country of ours. And welcome to the freshest podcast episode of the year from the podcast with no name. It's the new year 2024 and we're happy to be here. We are happy to get this podcast on the road again. We hope you had a fantastic holiday. We hope everything that you wanted to happen in 2023 happened, and we hope you already have your 2024 resolutions written down. But if you don't, pia ni sawa. Welcome to the podcast, Eddy Ashuya.
Thank you.
How are you, bro?
Good. Blessed. All things considered. All Ashwalites are happy. Nashukuru Mungu kwa uhai kama kawaida.
You've been taking care of them. Ama they've been taking care of you.
They've been taking care of me. They've done really well. I'm glowing. I'm happy.
No wonder utapatikana the whole of December.
December na mgenipata. December it was a good month for me. Those who know. Ashwalites for the win. Yeah, December nashukuru Mungu.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I had an accident, as I told you.
Pole.
Or rather, I didn't tell you.
You didn't.
But I didn't have to, because I was getting taken care of. So there's that.
Those who needed to know.
Those who needed to know knew. If you didn't know, ask yourself why.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, January ikaja. Spent time with my family.
Okay.
Did a lot of self-reflection. I didn't write resolutions for this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think we've been writing resolutions. This year, essentially, we write resolutions every year, thinking this year, you know, a resolution is a repeat of last year's problem, because you are like means redoing something. It means again. So people who write resolutions are like, we didn't finish them, we didn't do them last year. Let's resolve to do them
this year.
So this year I chose not to write.
Okay.
I've been thinking about them. But this year, no. Mesema standika any resolution. It's an argument I was having with some beautiful girl. Alikuwa anasema, no, you need to do this. Kambia no. We andika, Mr. Andika, alafu at the end of the year, let's...
Tutaona.
So, nashukuru Mungu.
Okay.
Umbali tumefika na mahali tunaenda ni kwa neema yake Ebeneza.
Amen. Amen. Yes, Ndugu is not in today, which is a shame because it's the first episode of the podcast, but I was with him in the morning.
Yes.
He has some other family matters that he's taking care of. So we're going to excuse him for the day, but he's okay wherever he is. And he'll be back next week. Yes. What's your song of the week?
Sina song of the week. As I've said, only umwaka ni different. So I have my verse of the year.
Verse of the year.
My Bible verse.
Okay.
I'm not essentially a very religious person, but I make a habit to go to church.
Every now and then?
Mostly every now. Yes, I only miss like one Sunday when I'm traveling.
Okay.
But humwaka, you know, I had this song on the radio while I was coming back to Kenya. Maskio drop.
When you're coming back to
Kenya. When I was coming back to Kenya. Mwaka ulianza na kutravel.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do a lot more of that this season. So naweza kuwa kwa podcast ama nisikue. Msishtuke. But anyway, the verse I was writing about my grandmother in December. Nilikuwa nafikiria sana vitu mingi kwa sababu unajua Waluya na kwenda home Kakamega, so I didn't go home this time. I went home earlier. So I've been thinking about a lot of things, and I realized when I was writing about my grandmother for some publication, I remembered what she always used to say, and I've taken that as my verse of the year, which is Isaiah 61.
Okay.
Unajua?
Isaiah 61. What does it say?
It's the year of the Lord's favor. So
this is the year things are happening.
Yes, the spirit of the sovereign Lord is upon me, and it has anointed me to come and proclaim good news to the poor. to say to comfort all those who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord, for the display of his splendor. They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. They will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations. Strangers will shepherd your flocks. Foreigners will work your fields and vineyards, and you'll be called priests of the Lord. You'll be named ministers of our God. You will feed on the wealth of nations. Instead of shame, you will receive a double portion. Double portion, you know that song, it comes from this verse.
Everything go double.
Exactly. It's from this verse. And instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. And so you will inherit a double portion in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. So this is the year
of the Lord.
This is the year of double portion. I say this because when I was thinking, especially over how the last year has been, I realized that like last year, I lived like I didn't have, to go freelance.
Yeah.
We are not essentially employed.
Yeah.
We live from, we're always thinking how to get the next deal. So we live like we don't have.
Yeah.
Right? So we make plans for our money, some that we don't have yet. Or we are always thinking about how do I get more money to supplement the money that I will not have next month. It's a dry season.
Yeah.
So we lived like we don't have. So we kept on asking God, Mungu. Okay, wacha nijiongele. Siwezi jua. I kept on asking God, will you provide for me this? Will I be okay here? Will I be? So this year I don't want to ask. This year I want to receive. Right?
You just want to live.
It's a small shift. But I want to enjoy. I want to be thankful because it's the year of the Lord's favor. I don't want to be asking, nitapata nitanua kashamba when ama nitapata my small aeroplane sangapi ama when will my next deal come. So this year I want to move away from that mindset to be a mindset of the year of the Lord's favor. So that is me.
Okay. Not what I was expecting.
Exactly. Huu ni mwaka. Kuna hiyo song ya Rayvanny. Huu mwaka huu ni mwaka wa kuposi. Lakini penye ananibamba ni senye anasema ati na ex wangu aliyenisaliti muinvite kwa harusi yangu. Msimpatie bia. Ano msimpatie juice. Mpatieni bia ndo alie tu. Enjoy. Hakuna kuenjoy.
Okay. Fantastic. For me, I think I'll still go with the song of the week. Mine is Lusa by Oliver Ngoma. That's my song of the week. It's a beautiful song.
Yes.
I knew of the song, but then Silas Nchwani mentioned it like I think a week or so ago in one of his posts, and then I went back to it. And I started appreciating it more than I used to. So that's my song of the week.
I should introduce you to some musician I was introduced to. It's called Geoffrey Oriewa. I was introduced to by one of the Asholites.
Okay.
She's a big fan. The musician. It's world music. While I was working yesterday night. It's what I was listening to. You don't realize when time,
it's passing by
because you're just relaxed. And I think this year, just relax. Unapata majenzi wanazeeka haraka sana. People are stressed out here. So if you can be kind, be kind.
I agree. Yes. Who are we shouting out this year before we start the podcast? Maybe just
let me see.
From my side, I think shout out to Lucita Mora. Shout out to Scholar V Akenyi, fantastic woman. Shout out to Rose Mimo Githwa. Shout out to Francie Magut. Shout out to Wangari Githinji. Natasha Akenyi, Kalin Kemi, Shiku Gracie, Shamira binti Waweru, Shamira Bintu Awiru, yeah, very beautiful and gorgeous woman. Charity Muli, shout out to Flo Angati, shout out to Ombogi David. I miss listening to you guys, can't wait for the first episode of the year. Asante sana man, karibu sana. Shiro wa Inaina, fantastic lady as always. Kalista Zonjala, Kasusia Apollos. Nasema here we go. I hope this year to attend a live recording. Shout out Ikuje bana. Monday is my birthday. Happy birthday to you, Kasusia Apollos. We hope you have a great day. Celebrate it. Shout out to Annette Nyaguthi. How's your holiday, Annette? Shout out to Magdalene Wangari. Anasema nimemiss idea show ya peke yake. Hao wengine walikuwa kina nani?
Who is that?
Magdalene Wangari.
Magdalene Wangari.
Yes, shout out to you.
Different from Princess Maggie Koech.
Princess Maggie Koech.
I miss you too, Magdalene.
Yes. So, yeah, those are the people I'm shouting out. Do you have other names?
Well, first of all, shout out to all the 14,000 followers that we have. So I've not been online. Sijakuwa online ni mwaka. Si ati kwa sababu I'm one of those people who say, no, me, I don't go online. It's just that it's been, I don't need to explain myself to you.
Yeah.
But juu mnataka kujua maisha ni matamu. And but I see all the 14,000 followers and getting here. Tunawashukuru kwa everyone who's listened and everyone who's texted me on Mbanacho or Ndugu. Asking mbona mjarudi. Tulikuwa turudi last week. Ni Mbanacho I traveled. Ndugu was the only one in Nairobi. Sasa tumerudi. Ndugu tena yeye amepata mashughuli. Unajua pia miaka ikiendelea kuenda.
The older we grow, the older we get, the busier we become.
I was telling someone that it's very weird. They were asking me, but you guys who don't go to the office, you freelancers, you seem supposed to have time.
Yeah.
And I summarize Kambia, that's what people think, but with the kind of jobs we do, we have more freedom, but less time. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So we may look like we are free all the time, but we really don't have.
We don't have the time.
Yeah.
Or we have time, but it's preoccupied time.
Exactly. na huu mwaka by the way, ningependa tu kuambia watu kana kwamba unataka wakati na mmoja wetu. Unasema in advance. Because nimeona last year there was a bit of fighting here and there. You don't spend enough time with me. So I'd like to clarify. Unasema mapema. We slot you.
Yeah.
Because huu mwaka ni mwaka wa kuforce. Lazima mtuite bosi. Na unajua bosi ananga time.
I know.
So shout out to you Scholar V Akinyi. Shout out to you Lucita Mora, Engaging Scribbles, Rose Mimua, Francie Magut, Natasha Akinyi.
Hizo nimesoma.
Okay.
Yes.
Ngoja. There's
what
and Silas Gisiora Nyanchwani. Anthony Omondi. There's Beth Ruga. Shout out to you, Beth Ruga. She wished me a happy new year. She was among the first people to text me. Wish happy new year.
No.
2024. Sheriff
I have a lot
Junior.
of grievances. Maliza shout out. I'm going
shout out to you. Sawe Kimboy. Shout out to you, June Ogada. Stavi Starich. Betty Efma. Hannah Kaz. Shironganga Mbogwa. Tommy Gay Jr. Rodi Kusa. Comfort Fingers. Newton Murila. And I'll go to Spotify as you complain. Let me see. Spotify tulikuwa na kina nani? Because I remember the last December 28th is our last episode. Poleni sana watu wangu. There's when we were talking about kufunga mwaka na kushukuru. So these are some of the things you said. We asked which ones were your favorite podcasts and what you learned. Masi anasema confidence saves lives is the mantra I acquired this year. This podcast has kept me sane through the turbulence I've experienced this year. Thank you for always keeping us warm. You are welcome, Masi. Ogutu, take time. Take home his date and marry rich. The goal remains unmoved. Good man, Ogutu. Marry rich. Or if you are those people who want to marry for love.
Marry for love.
Go, yeah? No, go to where rich people are and marry for love.
And love them.
Yes, love the rich people. There's no struggle love is terrible.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes. Kimani Maura anasema the episode was awesome. Reflecting back to the lessons learned this year and the impact on our lives is really marvelous because there are many, I bet. Bri anasema marvelous. Marcelina anasema 2023 was a beautiful year. You guys have made my mornings and have become part of my morning routine. Looking forward to attending one of your events 2024. Yes, happy new year, gentlemen. Marcy, we have an event for lovers only. Valentine's. Wale ambao watakuwa na watu.
Yeah.
Ndio, Eva anasema ndio nasikiza, and I want to thank you for making my neighbors think I go mad on Monday nights because I be laughing my heart out. Hope this year I finally meet the owner of Flamingo Legs. Who is the owner of Flamingo Legs? That's Ndugu.
That's Ndugu.
Okay. We are nani mwingine. Next, Cecilia. Loved all your lessons, guys. Thank you for the episode. Nilikuwa nimewakasirikia when I saw no episode on Monday. Pole sana. Shira Wainaina, happy new year and thank you for consistently blessing us with weekly episodes in 2023 to a greater 2024. Biko Marcos, we didn't think you'd leave us without an episode. My favorite episode is one where Brian wants to open a church. Lazima Iwank featuring Tony. It has been amazing. And finally Wanjiko, now that would be a very interesting book. Cannot wait to read. Favorite episode of the year, you want to discuss motivational speakers. Favorite show, the last one. Looking forward to more laughs in this year. Yes. Amazing. Motivational speakers. Let me charge my phone as you complain.
Okay. No, thank you people, by the way, for the comments last year. It's very important that when you listen to the podcast, you leave us a comment, you tell us what you thought of the episode, especially on Spotify and now even on YouTube, because now tunaingia YouTube na ubaya sana. We've been singing this song about the YouTube thingy, but it's now happening. I have grievances with you people now. Now that we've had this thing of the way. No one wished me a happy birthday from this podcast.
On January 12th.
I'm even now more annoyed. On January 8th.
8th? Paul, I'm confused.
Not even a single person. Not Ndugu. Not you.
I didn't.
No one.
In my mind, I did. Happy birthday, brother. Happy belated birthday.
So that's number one grievance. Number two, you interviewed Christina Shusho.
Christina.
And you didn't tell me. You could even call.
Oh my
bro,
God.
I'm going to interview Christina Shusho. You just come and hang around somewhere pale. Don't say shit.
December 28th, yeah.
How was it?
It was very nice. She looked very nice coming from the lift. We were at Tribe Hotel. And so there's some lift that when she was descending, right? So she was in the second floor as we were on the ground floor. So she said, I'm coming down. And then I saw her coming like an angel. She was wearing all white. Kasema da.
Kaanza kusema hali
nipe macho nione. Macho Yeah, but Christina, she was very gracious, very fun, very... I desist from using the word humble, but she didn't have any airs.
Okay.
Pole siku kuambia. That December was just weird. Things were just happening in my life that was like, so no, we have an exclusive with Christina. Do you want to interview her? You see the way Ato ulishtuka. I didn't even get time to like think. I have Christina. She wants an interview, and she's only giving one media interview. So nikaulizwa if I'm interested. Kasema, I'll think about it. Yeah. I'll see.
Christina who?
Christina.
Shusha.
Oh, that Nyavu guy. That Nyavu chick.
I think about it. Depends whether atashukisha nyavu or not.
No, I didn't say that. Kasi kiburi kidogo ni let me see, alafu tuende. So nikaenda, kanipatia time, tukazungumza hapa na pale, kaniambia about her childhood, where she grew up, nini. And then weirdly, the next day, someone called me from somewhere else, close to where I wanted to go. So it was just December was really just weird for me. Yeah.
So me, I was catching up with your articles because I never really read them as they come out. When najipatia like a week kama two, then I start reading them. So nishasoma Man Talk. Nashanga hii Christina shoot. Like, what do you mean? Nena naangalia. I was very angry. I was pissed off. Like,
pole sana.
This one
ukakuja kwa interview kwa inbox kaniambia
bana I was nikasema iwezekani. In fact I didn't even maliza read before I WhatsApped you. Because but it was a good interview. It was a good year for you for writing. You've done amazing articles.
Yes, asante.
Yeah. So if you're done, if you listen to this podcast ukimaliza, make sure you catch up with Man Talk
and Christina
Shusho and every other thing that
nitakwambia sasa nikienda kuinterview.
If you're going to interview, as long as it's a chick.
Unajua hata ni wewe and that girl that I was telling you about, mwenye aliniambia when I was telling you about the Daystar thing.
Yeah.
Ambayo hata paka sasa sijaweka online. Nimekuwa mvivu. What's wrong with me? Ile ya Daystar. Guys, by the way, my story was used in an exam in
Daystar University.
Yes. Yeah. Sasa nikaambia Banacho. Namuuliza, what do you think? Kaniuliza mbona sijaweka online? Na mpaka leo hata mimi najiuliza mbona sijaweka online.
You need to make noise.
I need to make noise.
Tell your people to make noise.
Yes.
Everyone to
make noise. Make noise. Tell everyone to make noise. But yeah. So yeah. But I'll tell you when I go for for these interviews.
Yeah. If it's Christina, I love Christina. Man.
Christina.
Yeah. Hopefully I didn't get to attend her show unfortunately. But yeah.
Malalamishi yameisha.
Okay. Now we can start the year.
No, uko bado na iPhone 12.
Man, bado niko na iPhone 12. Maisha ni hivyo.
Umeamua sasa.
We cannot complain.
Ukianza by if you buy into a lifestyle, you have to know you're going to maintain it.
Yes.
Na kile kitu ambacho ningependa wale vijana ambao wanasikiza hii podcast yetu kana kwamba wasiwe na huo fikira wa kukosa. I think Kenya it's a bad thing it's a bad habit we've developed, thinking that and I say this checking my privileges and knowing that I've been broke and I've had money. But I will always prefer having money, but I've also been broke. And I think we have this fear of getting broke so much that it stops us from living, that we never get to enjoy life because we're always thinking, hey,
what happens?
Simu 100k. Hiyo si ni shamba kamulu. Simu 100. Yeah.
You just call, like you just do
kupiga tu
simu
100k imeenda hivyo. Ama like you go to a shop, you see some very nice shoes, you look at the price tag 15,000. Kiatu
kwani nitafloat
kiatu natembea tu naenda tu kanyaga matope Nairobi. I think it's one of the things we need to unlearn, especially this year, and you know it's a challenge because once you start thinking of, so if you've thought this way all your life and you're in this position, so what if you tried the other route, right? And started thinking, 15,000, okay, not bad. This
maybe I can add something kidogo.
I get 2 pairs. You know, able to try the other. In essence, just shift your thinking from how you were thinking last year, and just try another way of thinking, because kama umefika hapa na huo fikira za mwaka uliopita na penye umefika si mahali unataka, basi ujaribu fikra nyingine pia uone kana kwamba nikifikiria hivi naweza fika the other side. I think that was one of the lessons that really took me last year, just thinking like
speaking of lessons, I was reading your article where you were asking where did the young people go, the young men. I think it was about Limuru. Sorry, you lost your grandmother. I've
been writing about her. So miss you how you yourself you mourn. Me, I don't cry. So for me it hits me much later. So I write about everyone I've lost, including my girlfriend. Kila mtu ako na folder yake na ni hard copy. It's written down. They are under my bed. So if you've slept with me, you know.
Iko pale.
So it's too bad for all the men. They will never sleep with me.
Sorry about your grandmother. I was reading about it. I had no idea. What was your relationship like with her?
Which one?
with your grandmother?
You know,
Did you see her often?
she was my favorite. She died in 2007, and I think your time I didn't have a concept of death, you know. And when you see, that was the first time I saw my dad cry, and I think that was the first time I cried. Well, I know that I'm crying. You know, when you're beaten as a child, of course you'll cry. But now at least you are there at the precipice of teenage, and you can tell a few things going on, and you can tell, okay, this is a loss. So you know, you remember the moments growing up with her as a young man, and the things she'd do for you, and she'd insist she always wants to see you, and she'd take me to church. You know, just grandmothers, and she'd spoil you. She'd make sure you are well fed. All those things. I think she's one of the women that have been so close to. So while like most men who are close to their mothers will be looking for their mother, every woman they date, I think for me it's my grandmother. She had long natural flowing hair. So when I see a girl with hair that is flowing, I'm like, oh my God, right? Or a chick who can cook pancakes. Na this year niko very, you know, I'm a very liberal-minded person, but I also have certain things that, you know, for me, I know now this is what I want, right? And if you tell, like, say, there are girls who say they cannot date a skinny man, but when you say you cannot date, right?
Plus-sized.
Mbona umeedit hiyo si jina ulikuwa unataka kutumia, but you see,
you have to be careful.
Those are the things. I once told a girl, me, I don't like women with a lot of ass, right?
Like you just need
it's hampering. So yani tunaanza mwaka kuongelea matako, but you see, it's not a preference for me. But she was very surprised because she's like, oh, no. And I always think when we are having discussions, me saying I like something or I don't like something does not preclude you from liking it or not. You know. So that's the problem I've also encountered out here. If you tell me, Banacho, you don't like, you know, skinny jeans, it does not mean that I cannot like them, you know. Jeans, and I think it destroys a lot of relationships, because now we think when Banacho says he does not like trousers that reach here, you hear it as Banacho says I do not like you, you know, which is a big problem, right? Because you said you don't like the cloth, but sasa mwenye anavaa hiyo nguo anaichukulia ni kana kwamba ni yeye au umpendi yeye, unatumia tu nguo. So back to my grandmother, I think those were some of the lessons that I learned. And for her verse, even when she had cancer, she died from breast cancer when she was, what is it called when you removed one breast? Mastectomy or something.
There's a...
Yes. So when she went through the process, and you could see she still has that faith in the Bible and in Jesus. Myself, my faith is not as strong as that. But she prayed till the last moment. And she'd always tell us, you know, Isaiah 60. Or is it Isaiah 61? This is the year of the Lord's favor. Right till her death. And even when I go to my father's compound, because that was her home, her grave is just next to the window. So when I was younger, it would be scary to be like, nakiamka usiku. But right now, you pass there, you even go and sit there, and you just like, you have conversations with them, and you just think about how far you've come, and you know how she'd be proud of you. So recently, I started writing about her because I've seen her influence now later on in
your life, especially
in the women I look for. And if they're not like that, it becomes a problem. But I've seen, and this is my way of mourning her.
Amazing, man. You know, I was in Shags the other week, and so my grandfather died. My paternal grandfather
wewe hata umenikumbusha mimi nilisikia tu kuna kazini yako amefariki kutoka kwa so who is keeping secrets here now now that nampigia ndugu ananiambia namuuliza uko wapi tunakutana leo town ananiambia hata mbanacho yuko sijui amen nikasema okay nikasema I'll deal with him myself
no so I lost a cousin of mine number one, let me say rest in peace. She was called Rennie.
Kwanza it's a she.
It was a she, 19 years of age.
Damn.
Yeah, she had cancer. 19. It was by the time you hit 30 you've lost so many people in your life, and the funerals you attend, like it's sad, but you're not really sad as a person. Maybe they live their life, especially if they're older and stuff like that.
Yes.
But for this one now, it really I really felt it, man, because you know 19 years is a very young person.
Yes.
And then for them to the way they died and cancer, it's called a sarcoma. That sarcoma thingy, apparently it's the worst kind of cancer you can have.
Damn.
It affects your tissues, your bones, whatever. And she really suffered, for a while, and to the point that she died. And so, unfortunately, when she first got cancer, like by the time they discovered it's cancer, it was stage 4. Because when you're 19, no one assumes you're going to get cancer. So they're treating so many other things. When they see, they come up with the diagnosis, it's this, they treat it, symptoms persist. You treat this. So by the time they're realizing, by the way, actually this thing it's cancer, it's when it's too late, And then now they have to tell you, this person doesn't have too long to live, unfortunately. And she had just joined first year, cooperative university. And then now she nini. So it was a very sad, it was a very sad moment, obviously, especially to the parents, to the siblings, and to everyone who knew her, because you never really think of burying such a young person, especially 19 years of age. So that was that. But so now that happened, we're burying her. We're also burying one of I don't know, these relations are always nakwanga complicated, but my dad's cousin's wife, if it makes sense, we just call her Mother. But so we were burying her too. Now it was old age. She had lived a life and everything. But anyway, so nilikuwa home, and then I went to now my grandmother's place, and man, the whole compound turned into almost like a mini bush. Even though there are people living there, like kuna watu, the house is here, there's someone else whose house is here, but the bigger compound, it feels like it's abandoned, it's like no one. And it's funny because when my grandfather died, this was in kitambo matuo 29 ama 27 huko, I can't quite nini mona, but it was ama 26. My grandmother held that place together for a long time until she passed on in 2018. And suddenly the whole place, it just looks abandoned. No one is nilikuwa pale najiuliza, what's not happening, And for me, it just goes to show how important these older people, my generation, are to them. Because when they go, it's not just them that die. So many things die, man. Even families, the togetherness, everything seems to go away. Because most times you find that as extended family members, you mostly meet at your grandparents, your grandmother. Ukienda home, you're at your grandma's, your cousin shows up, to see the grandmother, you meet, you talk. But then when she's not there, everybody's minding their own business. I also went to my maternal grandfather's place. I couldn't recognize the place. He passed on in 2018. Because I remember he passed on around February, alafu my grandmother passed on around August. But when I went there, his house had been demolished, and the whole place flattened. The house has been flattened. Your place imelimwa nini, One of my uncles, I think, he was the one supposed to inherit that portion of land where my grandfather's house stood. So after my grandfather passed, akakuja akaiflatten. I went there, man. I couldn't recognize the place. It looked strange. It looked, it was just like, such a bad vibe. I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. But it is what it is. So I started the year with the funerals that I attended, and obviously now, when you lose someone in your family, you unakuwa more reflective, about life and stuff like that. I got now to meet my other cousins. So many of them who are in Nairobi, we rarely meet, we rarely talk. We only get to meet during such moments. Unfortunately, during such sad moments, ziko pale. But it is what it is, man. 2024 is now here. Hopefully, it's everyone else who is alive stays alive for the longest time. Hopefully, it's an amazing year for personal life, for the podcast, and for everything, and even for our listeners who are listening in. Now we are going to our 4th year. Is it 4th or 3rd or something? I don't know. Yeah. But we're going for our 4th year. Hopefully, it will be an amazing year. What's the one thing you're looking for mostly towards 2025? I know you said you don't do resolutions, but anything you're looking forward to?
These are no longer resolution. This is kutimiza ahadi. There's a song by Ben Gidai, timiza maono wangu, timiza, something like that. So I think I can't say some of them because it's something that I'm Poleni. My hands are all over the place. It's something that I am still thinking about. So staki kuvuka mkoko na bado niko nyuma.
Okay.
Lakini I think one thing that I'm looking toward to is just this year I've decided to take it day by day, right? I haven't really thought about how far I want to take the year. I haven't made plans up to February. The most I know is that next week I have a meeting on Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Okay.
That's as far as I know. But I haven't thought further than that. Of course, I have aspiration and dreams that I still want to achieve. But after, and you've said it correctly, after all those losses that one goes through,
you
just appreciate life. And I spent a lot of, I think one thing that I can say that I'm really looking forward to is spending more time with my siblings. For a long time, I have spent time with them, right? But it's not intentional time. It's not ile time I've purposed. I'm going out with my brother. We are going to, maybe go out for drinks. Like how you go to your brother's shop and just spend time with him. I've not been doing that very often. I'll just go call my brother. Let's talk about how is school going. How are his relationships going? What are his hobbies? What does he want for life? Right? I've not been doing that very often. I've been doing them, but sile purposely. Ile yenye nimesema I've set aside day. Ile yenye tunakutana mahali maybe during suddenly mimi nimetokea hapo na Gen Z naye ametokea hapo na mumama and you are like kijana unafanya nini na mumama? It's like what are you doing dating my age mates? So, okay, we are now here, so and then we talk nini. But this year I want to spend more time with, because you realize you never really know your siblings.
True.
Right? And it's so weird.
True, man. This is also something that I have learned.
Yes.
And I'm glad that I've learned while it's not too late and everything.
Yes.
That there's always that need to build like a very close relationship with your siblings, like a personal relationship with your siblings.
Yes.
Other than ile tu you ni ndugu yangu, tunaga tu kuna nini pale, because you grow up, man, in the same family.
Yes.
I'm in the same house,
raised
by the same parents, but you grow up differently. Kila mtu ana prefer their own things, Kila mtu akona like. So for a long time, I used to think wrongly that my family is great, because we never fight.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
like we're just agreeable with everything that's happening. But then I quickly learned now, the older we got, that maybe it was not a good thing that we were not fighting,
Yes.
because so much was happening in our lives and decisions we were making that were affecting the others. But because hatuna hii culture ya confrontation, no one is saying anything. But then you're just drifting apart because you do something or you say something that I don't agree with. But because there's not that culture of us talking, nikuja nikwambia Eddy, by the way, I didn't like what you said, ama I feel differently about what you did. Na nyamaza tu, and then I just go, you know. And so one day you wake up and uanza kurealize, hey, wait a minute. Like for me, I was like, I don't see my siblings as often as I used to see them, you know. Why? Unaanza kuona na someone just made a quiet decision to just live their life.
Yes.
In Nepal, because no one is actually taking that time.
Yes.
To actually talk to you. I was not taking my time, and no one was actually taking their time to talk to the other to do, how do you feel about this particular thing, especially if it's affecting us as a family, you know, it's affecting everyone else as a family. How do you feel about this, ama if someone disagrees, they can peacefully disagree.
Yes.
Without anyone feeling like, oh, they're being disrespectful.
Yes.
and stuff like that. It took until I think it was early last year, if I'm not wrong, for me to actually have like a very candid conversation with our elder brother. You know, because things were happening, neither of us was happy about it, neither of us was doing anything, you know, until like we had to actually have that conversation. Like, Mimi, this is how I feel about this particular thing, because you see, it's you know, like our families, I don't know, and I think most African families, most Kenyan families, let me just say, we might relate. You know, when you have like an older brother, they tend to become like your father, because they took so much responsibility early on in life. You know, you owe them so much, everything needs to go pale, you see. And so the way you're interacting with them, it's more of like a parent-child relationship more than it is about brother siblings relationships. And so it's good when everything is going on vizuri, but then when things start happening, inakuwa tough, because how do you approach this issue without you disrespecting this person without them feeling they're being disrespected? So I think what you're saying about spending time with your family,
yes,
it's important, you know. I've been thinking, I'm an uncle, I have amazing nephews and nieces.
Yes.
I haven't really been spending time with them
Exactly.
as their uncle.
Yeah.
You know, like they see me, uncle, nini, when I'm visiting their parents. Right? So I don't have a personal relationship with them. I remember talking to my sister, I'm like, I want at least every once a month, like I want to be going out. Maybe we go watch a movie together. Let them have a relationship with me as their uncle, and me as their niece. Let them grow knowing, if they can actually call me if they need anything.
That's
instead of ile tu kusema ni uncle. Hakuna ni uncle, but sasa sijaiongea na yeye kwa simu, like I've never called.
Ni uncle tu kwa jina.
Ni uncle tu kwa jina, you know.
I think that's important. I think what you mentioned just reminded me of an incident that happened last year when I'd gone home to Kakamega, and my younger sister, she's 17 now, and I look at her and I'm so proud that she can be able to make decisions about her sexuality, right? And maybe our parents, when they think about this, when I'm mtoto, what is she thinking about sex? But when she told me, this is what's happening, and the truth is, these kids are having sex at much younger ages than we did. Me, I first had sex at 20, 21, 22, right? At least willingly. But usingile hiyo maneno sahi. But them, they are very sexually conscious, they are body conscious, they know things, right? And it's every generation should be knowing much more than Gen Z should know more than millennials should know more than baby boomers. So when she told me these things, I was, first of all, I think if you can just provide the space for them to be able to
talk,
to trust an adult, right? Because when a child tells you, and I've been thinking a lot about this, is that they just want to speak, right? I think you remember when you were growing up and you had that. All of us always. I don't know about you, but me, I always had that uncle. Alikuwa anaitwanga Jimmy. Uncle Jimmy. Whom you could tell anything. You could tell the first time you smoked. You could tell him when you started doing drugs. You could tell him when you had a crush on a girl and what will he do, right? He may not have been the most successful member in the family, but he was your favorite because you felt like you could talk to this person about anything. And I think when you're an older sibling or when you're just a sibling, that is a space you need to provide
for the younger
ones. Exactly. Because they should be able to know that. You know, I know there's a Bible verse that says there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. But I would feel very bad if my brother had to call his friend and I'm there.
And you're there.
You know,
like you're not the first person they thought of.
Exactly. Yeah, like when my brother is in trouble, I want him to think,
Achanipigie bro.
Sure, I can solve this. Okay, Eddy can solve this. You know, maybe he's in jail. You know, he can tell me, bro, I've messed up. I'm in jail. And of course, we will have our disciplinary talk. But the fact that you think, okay, let me call my bro first. You know, let's keep this internal. Let's see how we can solve this as a family first. When my brother picked cycling, maybe this is, you know, he became my favorite. You know, Evo too. So he has unbridled access to me. You know, like. This is what I do. This is what you do. And this is now his new hobby. I mean, he knows the secret. You know, like how dads favor those kids who look like them most of the time. So that's what happened. I think that's one of the lessons that I learned, especially growing up. Because me, I'm the firstborn. Uzuru, you are not. So you've had a big bro. And you have one who is following you. But the fact that your siblings can look to you for advice. Or when it's not advice, they can, and then now when they grow up, now they talk to you as equals, right? And then when they have, you know, the goal should be like my younger bro should now be able to parent the other bros, right? And the other bro should be able to, and just for that, for you providing that safe space where it's not, you don't know what they do, where they go to school, you know who they're dating, how many kids they're fathered out there. Or when they're in trouble, when they're, especially in this generation where we've grown up with people wanting to cut off other people. You know, me, I'm a lone wolf.
Me, you know.
Me, I'm a lone wolf. Me, I do things by myself. I move by myself. I'm a lion. I'm in the jungle. I'm hunting. And I'm like, bro, why do you have to be so competitive in relationships? You know, you can be out there in the work world, sir. But this is a basic humanity need. And that's why you find, you know, not to be a reductionist, you find that a lot of our problems are based out of loneliness, right? Because you feel like you're alone. But if I know I can call Banacho as my brother, you know, just let's hang out. You'd be surprised just how 1 hour of hanging out with someone that you love changes your perspective about life. Because when you're alone in your house, you're just thinking about doom. Ruto amefanya nini, serikali hauna kazi, hauna pesa. No one, like mtu mmoja tu akwambia me, I love you. And it doesn't have to be romantic love. Let's be platonic. I think that changes. That changes a lot.
No, amazing. And I hope that people start like nurturing this relationship with your family. Especially as siblings, because you grow up following rules by your parents. So everyone has to fall in line. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. But then when you're an adult now, you have the opportunity. This is actually talk your brothers. This is my brother calling. Child calling badai. But speaking of like when you now become adults, you have an opportunity to start now forging like a very personal relationship. You can have a very personal relationship with each of your siblings.
As you should.
Like you see too when you communal.
You need a personal relationship.
You know, like I need to know if there's ABCD I need to talk to, this is a person I'll talk to.
Exactly.
If it's ABCD, this is the person. This is the person I will talk to. You know. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I know friendships are very important, and we should be able to have like amazing friendships with the people that are our friends. But for me, family should always come first.
Family always.
You know, family. These are the people that you get stuck with. When things go, whether you're in good terms or not.
This is family.
This is family. You know, these are the people. Like I remember when we were at home, pale kwa funeral. You're like, I haven't seen this person in a long time. I haven't seen this person in a long time. But you all came together. If there's a contribution, everyone came, everyone did their part. Unaanza kuona, these are the people that you expect to be there during these moments, you know. And the fact that they are there, it means, okay, kumbe, everyone still plays a role
Yes.
in something. So because most of my siblings, almost all of them were there at home, were together. So one night we were talking, we were having just round table in my dad's living room, and my family always have these two arguments about anything, you know. And so I think that day we were talking about the politics of hair, you know, how some high schools, they have to force their kids to shave off their hair kabisa for discipline, for whatever. And so one side was for shaving, you know, for disciplining, and the other side, it was against the whole idea, you know. And so it was divided side by side to kuna argument nini, and it was a healthy like argument because my mom was in it, my dad was in it, nini pale. And I remember it was at night, just before we went to bed. And when we were done, now okay, of course no one anakubali kushinda or kushindwa or whatever, but I remember my dad saying like it makes him so happy to see his kids able to be together and talk, argue, whatever it is. But you know, it's a healthy, like, it's not that we are going to fight physical nini, chukiana nini, but it's like, for me, he was like, for me, this is one of my happiest moments, because, and it's easy to understand why, because when you umesema tuko kwa hii moment here, you know, lone wolf, mimi bana tu na mimi,
it's me against the world,
it's me against the it's me against the world and everything. But even in and I know you said maybe in workplace it's okay, it is okay, but also it doesn't have to be, you know, like, because competitive yenye tuko nayo hapa na nini. For instance, maybe when it comes to write, I've never applied for or even submitted a story for these awards, you know, like I've never felt like that's where my art belongs. I need to win this award, I need to win this prize, I need to win this thing. I'm just like, you know what, it makes me happy to write, and I know my audience nini. I'm just happy to do this thing without submitting, putting myself under all these things. Kusema do I need to meet everything. So everything doesn't have to be like a competition, you know, and you don't have to be winning anything. A competition for you to be happy with the nini. You can curate your own happiness. You can do your own amazing things, and so I know tumeanza on a very positive note, being our first podcast of the year. It was only right. And
I think this year the other lesson that before you tell us what yourself you're looking forward to, because you've not told us. One of the things that I'd like to see more people do is you don't have to respond to everything, right? So yesterday I was going for an eye test, and someone sent me a rather strange email. Wewe kijana sijui nini. I read it, nikakasirika, nikasikia tunapandwa na mori. Nikasema sasa huyu nimemkosea wapi, mimi hata simjui, right? And at that moment I was very angry. I was like, I really want, he may not have been the cause of my anger, but it was definitely a trigger. So alikuwa that it was just a weird day. My things were not moving well, nini. So when he came, this was the straw that broke the back. Sema huyu sasa ana bahati. Nikatype. But then as I was about to press send, you know, mwambia because hapo nilikuwa namwambia that's why I'm here and you're on the other side. That's why I get paid. And you read. Huyo nilikuwa nimemshut down. Kwanza aliposema, you know, I started reading this from way back. Kajua kwanza ni mzee. Kajua sasa hapa wewe ni mimi na wewe. But you know, before I press send, I got called in by the doctor. So nikasema nakuja
kumalizia
kutuma send. When I was coming back, you know, I'd cool down. The guy alikuwa we've already you know, had a few small talk and at that moment, I was thinking about it in my mind, and I was like, okay, to what extent does this really? I'd feel good at that moment.
Yeah.
But do I need to respond to this? And if I do I need to respond
This way? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was not. It's that thing that we were talking about. Brian does not like trouser 3 kwenje.
Yeah.
So me, I take it as Brian does not like me.
Yeah.
So I took it personally, which was wrong. So I think people this year people should learn what to respond to, because I see online.
Yeah.
Mtu hajatajwa hapo tu. Some people must learn that wearing white shirts is not, does not make you a CEO.
Yeah.
Comment. Umbwa wewe, shati zangu nyeupe zimekufanyia nini?
Is it my fault you can't afford a white shirt?
Another comment. This is why your husband left you. Another comment. Na hii serikali watu kama hao ndio inafaa iwaue. Hajataja mtu. But it's so weird. You'll find those are 3 different people. They've taken the issue in 3 different ways.
Yes.
But all of them feel like it's a personal attack to them. But
them.
Wakisoma comment wanasema pana hakuwa na kuaddress ni mimi alikuwa ananiaddress. So you're like so I think choosing what to respond to this is also very important. It also shows that I think maturity is very important.
True.
But also that comes with age and the experiences that you've gone through. Right? Because if I remember when I was 21, when I was 25, the things that I was replying to, at that age, it was okay at that age.
Yeah.
But if I'm still replying the same, I can't see the growth in the way I'm thinking, the way I'm responding to situations. And even, which is why I understand when women say they prefer an older man. Sometimes you think it's for material comfort, but also it's mostly because of the
wisdom that
and the
comes with the
security
age.
of security. Let's just leave it at security. Of her knowing that, okay, he got this. You've gone through a lot in life.
Like he can't be easily shaken easily.
Because her, she's there panicking.
Yes.
On this side, you are the one panicking as well. So she's like, oh my God, why am I dating a fellow woman? Because we gravitate towards what we don't have.
Yes.
So kwa hapo na panic. Wewe kama nacho pia una panic. Sasa nashangaa. So how am I getting off from this relationship? And I think that comes with maturity, that comes with age, because right now there are things I panic about, right? And when you talk to people in their 80s, they'll tell you, do not worry, these things will pass and you'll be okay. But I'm in this situation right now, and I'm feeling it, but anakuambia, don't worry, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Because amepitia everything through life has thrown and they're okay. But when now una kapitia,
man, mimi sasa
exactly
nimeisha,
you can't see through it. So I think just learning how to respond to things. So we have limited time on earth.
True.
And I mean, you could spend that time having sex, being on a boat, also having sex on that boat.
On that boat.
Have sex is important. I think sex solves a lot.
It does. It does.
Consensual sex though.
Consent. Make sure.
Watu vichwa kwa BNB.
I know. We need ask for consent, and also just be a good human. And you need consent every time. Usiseme ati umepatiwa consent at the beginning of the year. Dem alikutaka nakwambia you can use me how you want throughout this year. No. Every given time.
You have to
make sure
verbal. I don't know if I can get written, but make sure you get verbal. Aseme yes.
Ukisikia any small resistance, achana nayo.
Kwambia, are we doing this?
Sema
yes. You're sure? Yes. Get it. I know it spoils the romance in it, but I think it's important because rape can destroy your career and your life.
And also the victims.
Especially the
victims life.
And the sex is not an emergency.
I know.
Yes.
What am I looking? I'm looking. I'm manifesting a column for this year.
Amen.
I'm manifesting a column.
Yes.
Especially for the Sunday sermons.
Yes.
That will be amazing for me. I'm also manifesting bigger things for the podcast.
Yes.
You know what I really want us to do? I want to achieve this year.
Yes.
Like I just want us to be able to sit on this podcast and say we are having a show on 14th of February. and to sell out that show without creating a poster.
Okay.
So if you're listening to this podcast,
Yes.
I want us to be able to sit here and say we are having a show on 14th. And if you're listening, you get your tickets. Na tunakutana hiyo 14th. You know, we say we want 100 people. We get the 100 people without us having to create a poster, without us having to convince anyone, come, do all these kind of things, you know. I hope we get to that point. It will be really nice. So the poster ikwetuni, it's a formality. Yeah, I just want the writing to go
Amen.
next level, you know. So yeah, that's I think that's it for me.
Yes.
And for what I wish for the year. Maybe if you're listening to this podcast, you can tell us what is that one thing you're manifesting for.
Yes.
Was that one thing you wish to achieve this year? It can be career-wise. It can be in your personal life. Yeah, tell us, share in the comments. Tell us what you're looking forward to the most on this podcast. Tell us if you're ready to come to our next show. Tutasema lini? Are we doing a show next month?
Yeah, it's next month. Tuta decide.
It feels like it's too soon, but tutajua anyway. But you tell us if you're listening to this podcast. Tell us if you
want a Valentine's show.
If you want a Valentine's show, you know, and tell us if you want a Valentine's show. Even much better, tell us with the M-Pesa.
Yes.
562
buyers.
Yeah, buy goods 562-0115. Yes. If you want actually a show, we're going to create a poster.
Show tutawapatia.
Yeah, tuwapatia show. You just send the money pale nini, and then tuwapatia show. You know, 562-0115. That's our till number. Pay for a show. You know, we always have the shows anyway. You know, we'll have the show. It will happen. But most importantly, hopefully we grow together as the podcast, and we get to do bigger and bigger things.
Better.
So
before I let you go, kuna swali nilikuwa nikiuliza watu na hata msichana mmoja ameniambia nisikose kuuliza hao vijana wa podcast. Swali ni je, na ni vizuri hata tulikuwa tukiongelea kifo, sababu kuna wimbo ya sijui kama ni TP Mazembe, kifo akina huruma. yeah, lakini now that we've been talking about death, would you rather know how or when?
No.
No, Jibu, it's hypothetical.
Would I rather?
Would you rather know when you die?
No,
or how you die?
No. Let me just die. When the time.
Would you rather know neither?
I would know. I don't want to know how or when, because I feel there's a reason why we don't know, you know, and that's how we're able to make plans.
But if you were to know,
no, I wouldn't.
If you are given that,
I wouldn't want to know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to know when. I would want to know how.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, let me just die when the time comes.
Yeah,
Watch out, you could say.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, if you ask me, would I want to the how? If I could have a say on how, not even the when. The when, let me just go when I go. But if the how, obviously, as painless as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Whichever is the painless.
Interesting.
Would you rather know how and when?
Me, I'd rather know how. I don't want to know when, because as I told her, if I knew when, I'd live my life based on that timeline.
Yeah.
If I'm told I have 6 months to live, I'll want to do everything in 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, it shouldn't be sustainable. I'll be doing it because of a time barrier.
Yeah.
Essentially, we still have a time barrier because we know we are going to die. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live knowing tick, 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 tick.
The clock is ticking.
So if I knew how, of course, I'd make a few adjustments.
Okay.
I don't want my death to be painless. I want my death to be dramatic as hell. Right? I've thought about it several ways. Maybe a sword. Right? And a big sword. You've killed me. You know? Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be slit on my throat. I want something. Ile unanidunga up and then there's some drama. I look you in the eyes and say, why? Why? Kamau. Imagine dying to a Kamau. Why did you have to kill me, Kamau?
You killed me, Kamau.
Kamau. I am dying. Kamau.
God will punish you.
Kamau.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Kamau. Something like that. You know, drama. When I was younger, I wanted to die by gunshot.
Okay.
because I always wanted to feel how does a bullet feel, right? But then a friend of mine became a soldier. Then he gave me his gun, which is illegal, by the way. Civilians are not supposed to handle guns. This is too fast. So right now, at this very moment, I don't want to die by drowning. I find it that one now is total dramatic death. But it was because myself, I can't swim willingly. The only black man who swims willingly, our ancestors. So there's those trauma associated with that. So to honor my ancestors, I don't play around with water. Right? So tuko hapo kwa sword hapo. Staki ati he died in his sleep. No. Hapana, muniamshe, muniue. Ati he was let go. I'm assisted suicide.
Also don't want to die in my sleep. I know, like, it looks like the most painless. You can still be in pain. You can still die. I don't want to die in my sleep because, I need to put my house in order.
Put your house in order.
I need to clear my browsing history.
Well,
I did, a few things in my gallery need to go, I staki watu wabaki na vitu za kusema. But most importantly,
he died life, after a long illness.
After a long illness, no
drama. I want to die how I've lived my life.
He died a brave man. It was a brave death.
He was assailed by Kamau.
There's a stand-up here.
Cut into pieces.
Stand-up here, Eddy Griffins, where he was saying, like, I don't want to die, like, fresh, looking good. Like, I don't want people walking through my open casket and saying, he died too soon. Look at him. He looked like he had so much to live for. For me, I want to be... nikuwe nimechapa. Like, even in my death, utanangasema, damn, this motherfucker. Hey,
this guy is really...
It was really his time, man. Like, it was time for him to go. Me, I don't want to die really looking good and nice in my car. Me, I want to car and you're like someone who had overstayed his welcome. In this world. So since you started the year with the verse, do you want to end it with a popular opinion, or do you want to end it with a popular opinion? Popular opinion
and popular opinion was for last year. This year ndakuwa napatia wanaume pick-up lines. Ndio waache force.
Okay.
See, force. There are things you can force, but most of the things in life should not be forced. Relationships, love, sex, things that involve the other person should never be forced. It should be natural. Should be, I like you, you like me. Let's try this, but don't try and force. So maybe I can give them pick-up lines.
Okay.
Miss tumiangi mi ukatiwa. Speaking of kukatiwa, maybe that is the line I should give them. So you just approach the girl, mwambie Mr. kukatia, takupatia roho yangu yote.
Chukua yote.
Chukua yote.
Nibaki bila.
Wengi wamekukatia. Takupatia tu roho yangu yote.
Yeah, gentlemen. I'm not sure it will work, but anyway, give it a shot.
Yes.
You know,
it will work.
It will work.
The trick is to believe. Once you believe your own bullshit, the other person has no choice. Because it's like Ruto believes his own lies. And that's why Kenyans can complain, but the man actually believes what he says. So you have to believe.
As the greatest TV character ever said, George Costanza, Seinfeld, he said, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Exactly.
So if you believe it, go through it. Go ahead with it. Yeah. No, I think for me, just to tell you people to, be deliberate with your relationships, whether they're platonic and whatever. They'll catch by them could wish happy birthday. I was like, these motherfuckers.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Takubaya keki.
Yeah, but be deliberate with your relationships, and be a good person, like how the Bible says, do unto others
as
what you would want them
to do unto
you.
Yes.
Or as Eddy Griffin says, don't fuck with me.
They won't fuck with you.
And I won't fuck with you. Thank you guys for listening. Have a fantastic week ahead. Remember about the podcast live event. Tell us if you listen to this podcast on our podcast on our Spotify page and even on our YouTube comments. Tell us if you want the show. If you want the show, our till number is 562-0115. You already know the price is
And please share the
1,500.
page.
And please share the page. You know, we want to grow pamoja organically, most importantly.
Yes.
So yes, tell us if you want the show, when you want the show, and most importantly, put your money
Where your mouth is.
Have a fantastic week ahead. We'll talk to you again next week.